Hello, students, and welcome to today's writing lesson. It is Friday, the 21st day of August, and I'm going to recap the things we practiced in our writing session this morning. But first, you're going to, as always, write your name neatly with a capital letter, first name, and properly spaced lowercase letters for the other letters, and the date, just like I have here. Press pause. And now we continue since that's done. And now you're gonna close your marker. Snap the cap closed, set it down, and fold your hands, because right now your attention needs to be on what I'm writing and not what you are writing. So pay attention to what I'm doing. And this might start to sound repetitive because I've said it a lot of times, but I've learned over the years that you need to say it over a lot of times and practice it a lot of times. So I am going to start with that magical letter C underneath the dotted line, making that arc, going back down to the bottom, and then lifting up here. And that is our base letter. I call it that because that same shape is going to be inside the following two letters that I show you. And your marker is still not in your hand, correct? It is closed, and you are not trying to copy me at the same time. You're not going to get as far ahead as if you just watch me now and then practice after I'm done talking. So there we go again. I'm going to draw another letter C. However, I'm going to add to these other two to show you the differences between the three letters that we practiced. And we're going to zoom in. So let me zoom in now. And there's that letter C. We have talked about it quite a bit. That letter C is very important. If you make an incorrect letter C, then all of the other letters that have that same shape are also going to be incorrect. And then we get to the O. And sorry, I can't make it go more in the middle, but the letter O has that same letter C inside of it. It just closes the rest of the way and becomes like a circle. And then the letter A is also contains a letter C. However, you make this additional swipe downward to make that tail that sits straight on the bottom line. So that is the only difference between these three letters. And they all are one stroke. I will remind you, one stroke means you put the pencil down one time and then pick it up and you're done. You don't have to go back to finish the letter. You do it in one stroke. Here is a letter O in one stroke. And now it's done. The letter A in one stroke. I make the letter C. I go up to the top, drop straight down. So now you can open your marker and write the, I'm going to, first, let me get rid of the colors, because I've also learned that, students will want to get out the markers and color it themselves. I think it's better just to practice the letters themselves and do them the correct way. So that's why I took out the colors. That was for you just to see for visual purposes. Now you have these. So I want you to practice C, O, and A, the lowercase letters. And why don't you try it a few times, maybe 3 times. 3 letter C's, 3 letter O's, 3 letter A's, because that's a lot of letters for the day. But make sure that they're all proportionate and between the correct lines. And please pause the video to do that. And now you are done with all those C's and C, O's, and A's. I'm going to move over here to another blank spot so we can practice those numbers 1 to 5. And I'll talk through the strokes again. So the number 1 starts on the top line, goes all the way to the bottom, just like a straight stick. And try to make it nice and straight. See that? You want it to be straight. Number 2, oh, I don't want to forget, you got to put a finger space down. So I'm putting my finger down before I make this arc for the number 2. And in one, okay, I gotta do that again. Things are a little trickier writing in this angle. So let me make the arc for the number 2 and then trace right on the bottom line. And there's our number 2. I'm gonna bring out the ruler again, and you want the bottom of the 2 and the top of the 2 to be about the same. And right now it's not perfect, but I don't want to go back and add an extra stroke because we don't want to treat numbers as an art project. You want to be able to write them in one stroke, and that's close enough. That's a perfectly good 2, so I wouldn't go back to correct it. So now number 3, I put my finger down, make sure there's a space between the 2 and the 3, and I make an identical arc, just like we did for the 2. But what's not identical is how the number changes in the middle and how it becomes 2 humps. And there's our number 3. And let's look how straight it is. Pretty close. See that? So that's close enough where we see the top of the 3 and the bottom of the 3, the little arcs. It looks like the bottom arc sticks out a little bit farther, but that's fine. That's fine. So try to make a number 3. Then, okay, did I remind you already? You're not supposed to be writing yet. I'm going to have to program myself now that we're here. So right now, your marker should be closed, and you are just listening again, okay? I'm sorry I didn't clarify that sooner. Okay, so I put a finger space down. I'm going to do the number 4, and you're just watching me again. Number 4 has that shape that looks like a capital letter L. But then on the other side, you bring down the 4 from top to bottom, right on the edge. There's 4. Nice and symmetric number, no curves. And finally, we're going to do the number 5. So I'm putting down my finger to make a space. And this is the first number now. I'm sorry, it's not the first number. It's the other number that is going to have 2 strokes. So you make that stroke first. Then you make the hump, then you pick up your marker and finish the top. Okay, that makes the number 5. So some of the numbers you make with 2 strokes, and it might seem arbitrary. However, there is a method to that madness. And starting from top to bottom is something that helps your brain to rewire to focus on other priorities, which is a good thing. So those are your numbers. I want you to practice these, and I want you to make 2 lines of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that will be good for today. Try to make them as nicely as you can. So go ahead now, take your markers, and open the cap, and you can go ahead and do your work. And of course, pausing the video. And now you are back. And we did these numbers, and we did not do any geometry today. I think we had kind of a short time, so I'm going to go ahead and draw another cube for you. Just a simple cube, just so you can keep practicing. I'll try to make it different. I know last time I used really, really wide lines, and it was a little too wide for my liking. So I'm going to try these narrower lines. And, I'm thinking in rectangle again. Okay. We're not doing a rectangle right now. We're doing a cube. Okay, so I'm going to make the cube by starting with a square. So there's my square. Seems to be a little bit neater than yesterday. And then after that, you make the angled lines. I'm going to angle it. I'm going to use this to help me. 45 degrees. That's a nice. Let me go back here. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay. All right. Sorry, everything went haywire. Let's get back to where we were at. Okay, so 45 degrees. Let me turn it to 45. 45 is a nice even number to do. So go like that, and I'm gonna make my 45-degree line. And then I can go like this and make my 45-degree line. And you can do this too at home if you have a ruler. And put it on here and do my 45-degree line. The only difficulty with a ruler is that it doesn't start exactly where you would hope it would. Well, there you go. We've got the beginnings of a cube. Doesn't this look like a table that's been turned on the side? And those are the legs. You can see the legs sticking out. Yeah, it's starting to have the form where you can see a third dimension. You can see, I'm sorry if you just heard a bunch of microphone scraping. I had to turn it so that I can connect these lines now. So I'm using the ruler. There's that line. And then I'll finish it by doing this line. And here, I'm gonna go back and fix it since this is a little bit more artistic than just doing letters. So there's this line. Okay, nice and straight. I apologize.